Welcome to the WeCoach channel. My name is John Cafaro, and today we are going to show how to epoxy coat a floor step by step. See, this is the original bathroom. This is down in Port St. Lucie, Florida. I am a handyman. I have a handyman service. This is how I make, this is my day job. And this is the before pictures of a men's bathroom down there. We're going to do the women's as well. But it came out great, customers happy. But so step number one, here's what we had to do, is to take up all the old tile. A lot of work was involved with this. And it came up kind of easy, but we also had to remove the thin set too. So this was a little bit more than a day of work down there, just to remove the tile and get the concrete ready for prep, which is a chemical wash, which I'll show you in this video as well. So we're switching up the channel here a little bit. We'll still talk about how to make money, and this is how I do make money. It's how it always was on this channel. You can see here, you can see it's coming up in some big pieces as well. And we also are going to pretty much renovate this whole bathroom. We're going to paint the stalls, put new base trim in. There was tile trim, but they opted to go with the vinyl trim on there. So you can see all the white is the thin set. That all has to come up, and that very time consuming. The dumpster's quite far away as well. And this project I am doing myself, so it's a lot of back-breaking labor, but it is something, you know, if you wanted to epoxy coat your garage floor, obviously you wouldn't have to do this step. It's pretty simple, so you want to stick around for this video. Please smack up the like button. I really appreciate you guys doing that. It helps out the channel a lot. And I'm going to get more construction type how-to videos up on the channel. This is the WeCoach channel, so I'll coach you about all different types of things here. So, more tiles. Pretty big bathroom, just over 200 square feet, I believe. Got this little demolition hammer. Paid only $79. I bought this on Amazon. And the other one conked out. And you know what? I don't do this kind of work all the time. Although the customer is super happy. This is a DYI Extreme Sports. It's a trampoline park down in Port St. Lucie, Florida. And I do pretty much all their parks in Florida. And they love how this eventually turned out, and considering for almost all their parks. So maybe I will be doing a lot of this coming up. We'll see. And next time when I do this is the men's room. When I do the women's room, I'm going to do one bathroom at a time, because it can't be with no bathroom in the facility, because the facility has to stay open. I'll bring a helper with me the next time for sure. You see, they're coming up quite easy. This is the wall base tile. Set coming off. Pretty easy. Still time consuming. That's FRP on the wall there. So that is a fiberglass reinforced plastic. That's what it stands for. So we'll put, like I said, you'll see later in the video, we'll sand some of this down a little bit nice on the lower section. I'll paint part of it where the vinyl 4-inch vinyl trim doesn't cover. I'll paint that the same color as the gray wall, and then there'll be a black base trim. But I'll show you that a little bit later on in the video. So more thin set coming up. This actually came up pretty easy, but it came up in little crumbs, so I have to clean this all up, sweep this. And this concrete, the prep is everything. And again, if you're doing this in your garage, you're not going to have this step of tile removal and thin set removal, but you definitely want to make sure the concrete is smooth. This really could have used a concrete grinder, but they didn't have the money in the budget to go for that. So this is what the paint that we're using. It's a Sherwin-Williams Emerald trim paint for the stalls. These came out great. They're still a little wet in the pictures here, but you'll see later in the video. Almost you can't tell when you look at this now. You can't even tell it was painted. It came out so great. Looks like just like the laminate, and that's what it is. We're painting laminate, but that paint really adhered well to it. and it just came out gorgeous from that ugly blue that they had there, and then to the black. It just really, you'll see as we go further in the project. So here we're gonna sand the baseboard area, the part that we're gonna paint. I just wanted to get that nice and somewhat smooth. Yeah, it's FRP, so it's not a smooth finish, but I just wanted to get all that off. So now this is the step that's most crucial, is to clean the floor. And we use a chemical wash and then like an acid etching that really kind of eats into the concrete, makes it a little bit rough. And most crucial part, did about 8 times I mopped this floor up to make it nice and ready to go. Okay, it's the next day, and I just did one. Yesterday we washed everything several times, about 8 times. And now I'm just doing a final, just broom through, because the edges in this building, very old building, very rough. This crumbs, the mop picked up some crumbs and sucked them out. So just wanted to make sure that's all clean. We'll hit this with a vacuum as well. And then we're ready to roll. We have 2-part epoxy. And we're using we're using a Sherwin-Williams. This is a tile-clad HS epoxy. It's a 2-part. It's tinted gray, and then we're going to put a black and white and gray flake in there, called salt and pepper. So it has to be mixed. There's a certain way to mix it. It has to be mixed for about 5 minutes. Then you have to let it set, and then mix it again for another 5 minutes. We'll brush the edges, but I'm not too worried if I get any epoxy up here, because we're going to put a 4-inch vinyl cove molding on this baseboard perimeter, just to hide up the ugliness. Plus we have big gaps here, so that'll hide that up kind of nicely. And they have that throughout the building out there. So this is a DYI trampoline park down in Port St. Lucie, Florida. So we already painted the stalls, so they look gorgeous. They were blue. I'll shoot a picture of what they look like as well. So floor's ready. We're ready to roll here. So this is part A. Just getting every drop out of there. Should be more than enough for this bathroom. It's about 240 square feet in this bathroom, and this is the men's room, and then we'll have to do the women's at a different time because it can't have both bathrooms shut down. So it's just about every drop. This is part B, which is clear, not tinted. The first part was tinted. Mix again. For another 5 minutes. So 5, 15, and then 5. Ready to rock and roll. Okay, so we're all ready to go here. This is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I have everything laid out, ready to go. The flake's ready there. Couldn't record this back section too well, so I already have that part done. But basically, you just have to cut in around the corners with the brush. You just need a little cheap chip brush, pretty wide one. I got a 4-inch, and it's just your standard roller. And just roll it out nice, even, consistent, overlapping as you go. It's pretty simple because it's painting a floor is really probably the most simple thing you can do. So it's definitely something you can do. Just don't forget to add the flakes as you go. And you want to be somewhat, it's a consistent pattern, but it's kind of a consistent craziness. It's no science to it, but you just want to make sure it's the same throughout. Now, this customer wanted to see some of this tinted gray, so we didn't do like a full flake, it's called, which is, mostly all you see is the flakes. So this we'll see, and you'll see in the end, and I'll get a close-up here in a minute of what this looks like, but it's really, really simple. And in this scenario, I'm good at cutting in, so I don't tape off around the partitions, the bathroom partitions. And the wall, again, if I got any on there, it's no harm done because that's going to all get covered with vinyl base trim. And there's big gaps in the floor here. And like I said, this is a really old building, so it was long overdue for improvements in here. But so it's simple. So if you were doing this in your garage, I would recommend getting some of the blue painter's tape, just so when you're cutting in, if you're not familiar with painting a lot, you can tape it off and then just pull that tape off later. So just roll it out after you're done cutting in and flick the flakes. It's as simple as that. And then there's one final top coat that seals it, but we're not going to do that for, this is a Friday that I'm doing this on, and I came back on that Monday. This place gets too crazy on the weekends, and the fumes are very intense, so definitely should be wearing a respirator, especially for step number 2. For the top coat is really strong, but even step 1 should be wearing a respirator. But if you're doing your garage, you'll have the garage door open, I would assume, and you'll get some nice fresh air from outside. If you're doing a garage, watch if you have leaves or anything blowing. You don't want that kind of stuff blowing into it, because it will stick into this epoxy. It's very thick. It's not like paint. It's very thick. It's epoxy, so it's very thick, pasty kind of material. The top coat is very thin and watery, and you'll see that in a little bit. But that's it. You can see here I'm getting some more flakes, and I'm just gonna, just like you're putting a little bit of oregano on your pizza or whatever, just kind of sprinkle it around just into a nice, as consistent as you possibly can. I'll say, a consistent pattern, if you will. Again, I didn't want a full flake, so we just put a partial, I'd say a medium kind of spread that we're doing here. And you'll see, I had it in the beginning of the video, but you'll see in a moment as I get this finished up. And this went really fast, so I'm going to say from start to finish on this day. So far in this project, it was about a day and a half to get the tile and everything prepped and cleaned. And then the epoxy, maybe 4 hours total to do this at the most. And then the top coat went really quick. So very fast. In the garage, you wouldn't have partitions or anything in the way. So if you're doing your garage, it's even got to be much simpler than what I'm doing and dealing with here. But you might have an older floor that has grease from cars. That has to be cleaned up, because it will not stick well if you have grease or any kind of moisture issue or anything like that. You want to make sure it's dry. You want to make sure it's clean as possible, smooth as possible. Grinding it down, surface grinding it down to like more fresh concrete would definitely be the way to go. They didn't want to pay for that step, and really it's very difficult with the partitions in the way and toilets. They don't want a lot of downtime here, because this park stays open 7 days a week. It's really rarely closed, only on major holidays. So you can see here I'm just getting consistent strokes and putting the flakes. Simple as that. So again, guys, I really appreciate if you can smack that like button. It really helps out the channel so much. This is the WeCoach channel. Like I said, we were talking stocks and different investments. We started off the channel with more inspirational stuff years ago, then kind of diverted into selling online, which my wife still does. We sell online. I should say we do, but she does. She pretty much took that over. I was always in construction all my life, so this is kind of my, I guess, my behind the scenes. But I'm kind of going to switch it up, because I think these kind of videos are really more helpful than talking about my investments in stocks and crypto. I think this is probably, I just try to help people as best I can. And again, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to help you. If you're in the mid-Florida eastern side, that's where I'm at. I'm in the Melbourne area. And I'd be happy to, if you wanted something done for you, we pretty much can do anything. I've been in construction all my life, so this is my thing. So, and I enjoy doing it. I like the commercial work, definitely, for sure. You can see there's kind of the pattern. It's kind of a nice look. I like it like this more than a full flake coverage, and that's what I have left to do. Just this, about 3/4 of the way done. Okay, so that's it. I mean, this came out gorgeous. We're not done yet, but this, so far, so good. Came out great. Like I said, this went pretty fast, and big improvement over what we started with in this bathroom. So um, this, you can see that's the pattern. It's not a full pattern. It's like a medium pattern is what I would call, and that's what I prefer the best. And you can see in this shot here, this is just a reminder of what we used to, what it used to look like. Quite ugly. That's what the bathroom stall's done. That's actually in the women's room, that picture. But so, and here's the next day. So we're getting ready to put the top coat on, and I'm just inspecting everything, making sure it's ready to go. And it's looking great. The customer I met with already, and is just elated by what this looks like so far. And we're not done yet. When we put this top coat on, it's the clear coat. I just have a little bag of flakes there just in case there's a spot that might be maybe need a couple of extra flakes. I'll just put it under the clear coat, and it should be fine in doing that. I wouldn't do the whole floor like that, but just a couple of flat spots. And you want to sweep up any loose flakes as well. So I did that as well. Just go over everything. I kind of did it on my hands and knees and just felt around if there was any flakes kind of sticking up, like straight up, and maybe they got caught and stuck straight up. You just knock it off with a little spackle knife just to get it flat. So when they're mopping and stuff, you don't have this little piece that's sticking straight up. And it was pretty much consistent, nice. So this is what we're using: Armor Seal Rexthane by, again, Sherwin-Williams. It's just clear. It's very liquidy. Unlike the epoxy, it was more thick material. This was super easy to apply. Again, the fumes are brutal. Definitely need to wear a mask, a respirator mask, not just like a dust mask or any kind of hospital mask like that. But you need a full blown respirator mask because the fumes are, even with the mask, to be honest, I had a little bit of a headache. This stuff is quite intense. And again, if you're doing your garage, it's going to be a lot better than where I am. I'm inside a building, in the middle of the building where the bathrooms are. So you can see it's just going on clear. And, when this was done, this just makes it pop. It just puts that hard shell on top, makes it a really smooth finish. It'll be easy to clean these bathrooms now. And that's what they were really looking to accomplish by doing this, just giving it a nice facelift. This park is quite crowded. At times, especially on the weekends. All their parks are pretty crowded, but this location in particular is pretty crowded for sure. And this is down again in Port St. Lucie, Florida. It's a DYI Extreme Sports. So if you're in the neighborhood, you can go in the men's room. At the time of this upload, just the men's room is done at this point. They're probably not going to do the women's for another month or two. They need a break. Fumes were intense, but they kept the front door open this day, and it wasn't so bad outside the bathroom. Just inside the bathroom, it was quite bad. And there's an exhaust fan on there, so pretty easy, like I said, to do. I'm probably off screen here, just cutting in around the edges. But you don't want to miss a spot because then it won't be, you won't see that nice glossy finish. But it's like I said, it's pretty, and it's a mohair roller I'm using here, so it's a different type of roller than the other roller for the epoxy because this is such a clear, thin coat, and you just don't want any hairs or anything from the roller. You don't want to buy a cheap roller. You want to get something pretty good quality here, especially in this step. Now you will see some of the flakes stick into the roller a little bit, but that's not going to be a problem. And again, if there's a loose flake on top, no problem. That will vacuum away when we're all done. But super simple project. I rated probably a mid-scale project. So if you're familiar with painting, definitely follow the directions. The epoxy, we had to mix for 5 minutes, let it set up for 15 minutes, then mix it again for a full 5 minutes. This is definitely something you don't want to, just pour it and mix it and off you go. If you don't follow the directions, it won't adhere properly. It won't be strong. If you're driving cars on this, which obviously we're not in this scenario, but you want it to be a super hard dense surface, and it has to be done properly as per directions. As with anything, really, I'm a stickler on following directions and just doing it the right way, because you don't want problems later, So, but again, I can't emphasize how easy this is, what a difference and improvement in your garage or wherever you would do this. That little paint can hanging there, by the way, is there's a leak in that sink, and it is something they're going to have their plumber take care of. And we couldn't have water dripping on the epoxy, that's for sure. It's just a little drip, so I hung that little bucket there for him, little paint can from the epoxy, I think it was. So you could see here, just rolling it out, nice consistent, strokes overlapping, making sure you don't miss a spot is the key. But you'll see this just gives it such, it looked incredible even before this step, but once we did this, and once I came back over the weekend on the next Monday, it just came out amazing. And really, the video, it does not do it justice. Like in person, this just looks like wow. And the customer, like I said, is just elated with how this came out, and it's just such a difference. You can see there, you can sort of see the shine on there. It's just an amazing finish. Super hard, super strong. You're going to get years and years out of this for sure. Look how gorgeous that looks. So this is still, I guess this is right after I did this. So it's still wet, can't walk yet. And we let this set up over the weekend just to make sure it's totally cured. And then I'll come back and I'll put that base trim on, and then we're all done. This is like a brand new bathroom. They didn't change the fixtures, didn't change the toilet. Some of that stuff is old and a little bit dated and whatever. But from where they came from with the blue stalls and ugly tile, and some tiles cracked and all, it's just a big difference. And with today's day and age, you want a facility with clean bathrooms. Everybody expects that these days. So you can see there's the finish. Looks great. It's a great pattern. I think it's just right. But some people like it more. It's definitely better than what we had on the before side, for sure. So quite ugly. Maybe it was good back in its day, but this is actually pictures from the women's room. They use like pavers as the thing. So here's 3 days later. Now I'm walking on it. Really, just you could see that shine. Hopefully you could see that in the video. Put your comments down below. I'm really curious what you think. Have you ever tackled a project like this? Are you considering doing something like this? Or would you maybe be afraid to do something like this? Again, I'd be happy to help you either way I can. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'll try to answer any questions down in the comments down below. And tell me your thoughts. What products have you used? Have you used a different brand, Rust-Oleum product, Sherwin-Williams product? I kind of stick with Sherwin-Williams for most of the stuff I do. They kind of help out too. If you have any questions, they'll even come out to a project and help you out as much as they can. But really came out great. There's such a shine to it. This is gonna last for years and years because they're not driving cars on it. It does get a lot of traffic, foot traffic, but not cars and vehicles and grease dripping on it. So this should last for many years. And it's going to look great for many years. And again, just imagine that's your garage. It's just like the size of a one-car garage, I guess, this bathroom. So, and the two-part, I did have some extra too. So here we are putting on the vinyl base. Pretty easy. Just use a vinyl base adhesive. It's just a 4-inch high vinyl base. I already painted the gray. You can kind of see where the line is, where that was, but it still came out great. The customer's super happy. This bathroom, they know, is not going to be perfect. They didn't want to spend, the money to rip out the walls and make everything perfect and put all new stalls in, which I've done in some of their parks, replaced drywall and all. But this park, they have a certain budget, obviously. It's like any business. So, we had to work with their budget. So when it came out, you can see here's the final product. Customer happy, contractor happy, job well done, and we'll be off to the other bathroom probably in a couple of months when they're ready. But I do, like I said, I have other parks that I'll be doing other work, and bringing a lot of other videos onto this channel now. Oh yeah, one last thing we had to do. Their baby changing table was busted. It's probably kids sit on it. That's how that hinge got bent, and there we are. We got the new one up. Have to patch those walls, those holes there in the wall. But so now is the final project. So again, any questions, please put it down in the comments below. Please share this out. I appreciate you guys so much for being and spending the time watching this video. And I hope to see you on the next one. So please click the follow button. And again, smash up that like button. My name is John Cafiro. It's flhandymannow.com is the website. You can catch us. I'll put that link down below. If you're in the Florida area, I'd be happy to help you out, meet with your home, and help you. Even if you wanted to do the project yourself, I'd be happy to answer any questions for you. That's all I got on this one. We'll see you on the next one. Live each breath with passion. Look at that finish. Looks gorgeous. Thanks, guys.